succeeded in at least that one goal.
But I think that there's been a failure of reporting on our side about the extent of the Israeli operation, which compared to cast lead, which in 2008-2009, cast lead was really wanton destruction of Gaza City. This has been pretty well targeted. And they're in only one. The ground offensive is in only one neighborhood of the East Gaza City. The targets, schools, mosques. That's where they store the guns. That's where they store the arms. And it's terrible that families and children are being killed. But that is precisely Hamas's purpose in starting this mess.
Andrea?
Well, let me just say that one thing, first of all, from the perspective of our people on the ground, Joe, it's not one neighborhood, but I'm not there. I can't verify that. I can just tell you what our reporters are saying. The other piece of it is, I mean, Richard Engel has reported an ambulance is being targeted, schools and hospitals. And as you say, there have been rocket emplacements in some of these areas, but I don't think there's any denying that there have been misfires. The 4 children on the beach. And I know it's war, but let me just make one other point. They have now taken one step further, which is going back to their policy of demolishing the homes of relatives, and even relatives in the West Bank, relatives of those who are the alleged perpetrators. And this is a very controversial policy because it is ascribing guilt to relations who are not even on the scene. And the long-term impact of that in terms of
I'd like to see the reporting
future of... Well, the reporting comes not only from our own people, but from all of the respected newspapers. I'm not talking about either side's claims, either the IDF or the so-called Gaza health authorities. I'm talking about what the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, the Washington Post, the experienced war correspondents on the scene, our own Ayman Mohadeen and Richard Engel are reporting.
Well, I think that it's pretty well known that I've been very critical of Israel in the past, especially their activities on the West Bank and the expansion of settlements, and I still am. But in this case, I spent the last couple of days talking to members of the Israeli peace movement, people like Ori Nir, who is the spokesman for Americans for Peace Now, and he called this a just war. He studies these things very, very carefully.
Joe, there is
I think that in this case, we have to present more nuanced reporting. I see no evidence that the ground war has expanded. The ground war, not the airstrikes, but the ground war has expanded beyond that one neighborhood.
Quickly, but the airstrikes, I mean, from outer space, from 200 miles up, the air war is a very, very big part of it. And the air war is, I'm not saying who started it or whether the rocketing from Gaza isn't part of this. I'm saying both sides are now a vested interest. But what Israel has discovered is the most extensive underground tunnel operations that well beyond what their intelligence indicated, and they are determined to get that out. And and Hamas is using human shields. There's no question about that. But the people who are caught in the middle are the people of Gaza. Yes. That's the asymmetry here.
But we know who started it. This is not a mystery. It was started by Hamas. Israel has no interest, believe me, in going back into Gaza. They got out of Gaza. I've met many Israelis from throughout the political spectrum. The last thing they want to do is send any young Israeli boys or men into Gaza. So they got rocketed for days, for weeks. Israel said this has to stop. Egypt said it had to stop. The U.S. government said it had to stop. It didn't stop.
Right,
so they had to deal with it.
Much more to get to.